for season number 3 draft. As always, it is been arguing for over the past couple months has now finally arrived.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Christian Tracy. We are back yet again with season 3 of UCPW for season 3, and I'm telling you what, I'm promising you right now, season 3 is gonna be UCPW, and season 3 is gonna be better than ever than it was back at the last season. But as always, I'm alongside with my colleague here, Tracy, right? Because off the seasons, we have been having a back and forth rivalry between each other on who's gonna get who.
That is true. As this is basically the struggle for conflict, and everything is gonna probably come to a head tonight, as months of anticipation finally come to a head tonight. As we did a little coin flip backstage, and surprisingly, Christian got the upper hand this time. So unlike season 1 and season 2, he will be going first with his draft pick. We'll be drafting up to 55 superstars and 6 women is what we've agreed on. Tag teams will count as 1 pick unless you want 1 superstar at the tag team individually.
That's right. And we have already established that our champions will not be affected during this draft or any other draft in the future.
True.
So I'm thinking that we should tell people on who will not be drafted for season 3, so that they don't get confused.
For GCW, who will not be affected, who will not count as a draft, will be Sami Zayn, the current world champion, AJ Styles, the internet champion, Triple H, the global champion, Seth Rollins, the United States champion, the Club, the tag team champion, and Asuka, the women's champion.
Yep. And for UCPW, Tyler Breeze will not be affected as he's the World Heavyweight Champion. The Hardcore Champion, Big Boss Man, will not be affected. The Women's Champion, Naomi, is not going to be affected. But you're probably wondering yourself, Christian, what about your tag team champions and your light heavyweight champion? Well, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Ever since this whole draft was about to speculate, I had to find Scott and Rick in the community creations, and I can only find Scott Steiner, so I either had to, if I could find a Rick Steiner, to complete the Steiner brothers for the tag team championship, before I start season 3, either I'll have to vacate the titles and start a tournament to crown new champions, or I'll have to find Scott a new tag team partner until I can get Rick Steiner. And as for the light heavyweight championship, well, Daniel Bryan, apparently he's not qualified to be in the light heavyweight championship division, so I will either have to I'll probably have to crown new champion under a tournament, or I'll probably have to crown the new champion in a tournament that will be settled for season 3. Big Boss Man, my hardcore champion, and Naomi, my women's champion, will not be affected during this draft.
Yep, and then on the GCW side, just to recap, Sami Zayn, the world champion, AJ Styles, the internet champion, Triple H, the global champion, Seth Rollins, the United States champion, the Club, the tag team champions, and Asuka will not be affected either during this draft. But with that all said and done, Christian, you won the coin toss, so the first draft pick will go to you.
Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for UCPW's first draft pick overall. If I had to pick one guy to represent UCPW, I'm thinking it would probably have to be Ooh, let's see here. There's a lot of people in this game right now, but if I had to stand out, it would have to be a glorious #1 pick. My first pick is Bobby Roode.
I was, uh, that was a good pick. That was a good pick.
And I promised him after season 2 was over that when I draft him, I promised him his rematch clause for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I kept my word up to Bobby. He's getting his world title rematch.
Okay, good man, good man, good man. And now, I've been speculating who I want to be the #1 guy representing for GCW in season #1. For season 1. I meant for season 3. For season 3. And I think that there should be no other person representing GCW this season, none other than the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura. So Shinsuke Nakamura is my #1 draft pick.
My colleague goes for the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura, for #1 for GCW. We here in UCPW would want to wish Nakamura the best of luck as he goes to GCW. Okay, for my second draft pick. I think I might start off with a team. I'm already heading off into the team section. So, for my #1, my second pick will be for the team of Connor, Victor, and with their leader, John Cena. The Ascension is #2.
Okay. As on UCPW side, for #2, it will be the Ascension with John Cena under their leadership. Which is okay. Wasn't planning on getting Cena anyway, so nice to see Cena back at his home for another season. It's all good. Because my #2 draft pick is a guy who I think can put on some great matches with with any of my champions. As my #2 draft pick is a worldwide class athlete. And he's put on some killer matches with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. My #2 draft pick is the Olympic gold medalist known as Kurt Angle.
So Nero goes for the Olympic hero and the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle for his second pick for season 3 of GCW. Let's see here. For my #3, if I had to pick anyone if I had to name one of the greatest world champions in history, I would have to go. Let's see here. I would have to go with. Sometimes UCPW needs, let's say, an animal on the roster. So #3 is the animal Batista.
Okay. Batista is heading over to as Batista heads over to UCPW. My number three pick, and I've been speculating over if I should really do this. My number 3 pick is a guy who I think can really ascend in the GCW ranks. In fact, my number 3 is a team. As my number 3, I am going for a team that's been fluctuating between both UCPW and GCW for the past couple seasons, some conflicts and everything. But I figured it's time to forgive and it's time to bring them back here. My number 3 pick is the Revival.
And he picks the Revival after they came short in Season 2 on trying to get the tag titles. You know what? I'm probably going to go for, Christian. Sometimes I ask myself, Christian, if you could think of a legend, who would it be? Well, let's see here. I had a lot of legends, such as, like, Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, anybody like that. But one that stuck out to me, and I haven't seen him before, and I've seen him before wrestle, and I'm thinking that he'll be for Mr. GCW himself, Rob Van Dam.
Okay, he's draft. Alright. And for UCW, RVD will be heading over to UCPW. Which is okay because I think I might have a nice idea for my number 4 pick. As my number 4 pick is a guy who I think will be able to do well. Who is a GCW original and can definitely prove it, and has definitely been able to prove himself here in GCW, becoming a former GCW Next Gen champion, staying on GCW for a 3rd season. The Demon King, Finn Balor.
And he drafts Demon King himself, the leader of the Balor Club, Finn Balor. Okay, so he goes for Finn Balor, okay. Sometimes when there's an animal, there would have to be some kind of, let's say, sometimes they have to turn into, for my number 5, sometimes an animal has to become a beast every once in a while. So, staying in UCPW, my number 5 pick is the Conqueror, the Beast, the Mayor of Suplex City, Brock Lesnar.
And Brock Lesnar, the current Universal Champion in the real world, is staying in UCPW for a second consecutive season. And coming up for my number 5 draft pick is a GCW original. In fact, he is a two-time internet champion. I am going with the former United States champion known as Kevin Owens.
I see right there. Kevin Owens is heading over to GCW, a great GCW original, if I do say so myself. Now, let's see here. For my number 6, I'm probably gonna go with another team again. If I had to find, if I had to find a random team that I would pick, ooh, let's see here. I have to go with a new team, which will probably be, let's see here, one of the craziest teams known in the real world in NXT. I'm going at number 6, Eric Young, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, Nikki Cross, with Sawyer Fulton. My number 6 pick is Sanity.
And over there on that side, he drafts Sanity. Which is not a bad pick. I don't think it's a bad pick at all. But my number 6 pick, I'm going to go for another tag team at number 6. As though they may no longer currently be a tag team, they were one of the best tag teams, putting on great matches with my number 3 tag team pick, known as the Revival, which has encouraged me to pick them as number 6. Number 6, I'm going with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, DIY.
And there goes for both Johnny Wrestling and Tommaso Ciampa. That's a tremendous pick right there. For my number 7 draft pick, if I had to pick a man who would show no fear and no remorse to the UCPW locker room, let's see here. If I had to pick that had shown no remorse and have left a path of destruction in real life as a team, my number 7 is the Brothers of Destruction, The Undertaker and Kane.
Okay, yes, he goes for Undertaker and Kane, which means he gets them as a tag team and as individual superstars, which I don't mind. I probably wasn't going for them anyway, so that doesn't bother me too much. But my number 7 draft pick is a guy who I feel is finally starting to get his due in the company. He's just starting to get his due in the company, and he's been one of the best for a really long time now. My number 7 is the current United States champion in Baron Corbin.
And as you heard from Nero, he is gonna be taking the one and only, the first ever UCPW Joker's Wild winner, Baron Corbin. Okay, so let's see here. For my number 8, if I had to pick, you know what? We need somebody who needs to have an object with him because Nero. Do you wanna know what happens when you try to see, if GCW is better than UCPW? You wanna know what happens? You wanna know what happens, Nero? You would make the list. Number 8, Chris Jericho.
Yeah, Chris Jericho is going back over. Chris Jericho is staying over on UCPW. That doesn't bother me so much because my number 8 is someone who doesn't need a list. As my number 8 has an whole entourage with him. My number 8 made me a believer out of him last year, and this year he's doing just as good. My number 8 is The Miz.
And he is gonna take The Miz. And which in real life is the current Intercontinental Champion in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So, ain't plans with him anyway. You know what? The UCPW roster could use some light heavyweights or some high flyers, so I'm thinking that I'm going for, I'd say some people will call him a gentleman, that they would like to call him. So my number 9 will be Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Okay. As Jack Gallagher is now going to be on UCPW, and I like the idea of having some heavyweights. As remember, as GCW has his own next gen division that Shawn Michaels is currently atop of. So now I'm going to go with my number 9, and my number 9 could probably have some really good matches with not only Shawn Michaels, but some other guys along on the GCW roster. My number 8 is the one and only Cedric Alexander.
Ooh, and he goes for Cedric Alexander. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Let's see here. Anyway, keeping it in the light heavyweight division, we might go for another one that can show probably he would probably start out short, but I know that he's gonna be great in the light heavyweight division. So for my number 10, I am gonna pick the one and only in real life former cruiserweight champion Akira Tozawa.
Okay. As he goes with Tozawa. He never really got a chance to make his debut last year in UCW Season 2. But that's okay because I'm gonna go for a number 10. Keeping it in the next gen division here in GCW. I'm going to go for another wrestler who can definitely put on some good matches around with some of the GCW roster. And number 10, I'm really looking forward to see his arrival in this. So I'm drafting.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as my colleague Neil Knight goes for the first ever, in real life, the first ever Cruiserweight champion after the Cruiserweight Classic. Let's see here. as we head to number 11. If I had to go for 11th guy, you know, sometimes you gotta have a. I'm sticking it in the light. I'm still keeping it in the light heavyweight division, which you always have to have a plan. And sometimes I'm thinking that he would be great in the roster, which he is the man with a plan, the Brian Kendrick.
Okay, as Chrissy goes for the Brian Kendrick. Which isn't a bad pick. But my number 11, as we stay in this for a third consecutive pick, I think that I'm going to go for one of the best well-rounded wrestlers today. The man who actually beat Chrissy's number 11 for the Cruiserweight Championship on the premiere episode of 205 Live. My number 11 is Rich Swann.
Okay. He goes for Rich Swann, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, let's see here. You know, if we had to say about one thing about UCPW is that, let's see here. We have a few predators. We have a beast, and we have the animal. That sometimes we need another carnivore. And sometimes we need, shall we say, Viper. So, number 12 is the Viper, Randy Orton.
Okay, Randy Orton will not continue his run in GCW. We wish Randy Orton the best as he goes back to his home in season 1, UCPW. So number 12. My number 12 is a guy who really came close to capturing the Universal Championship in real life, and also very close to capturing the United States Championship back at Elimination Chamber. Duked it out with the current champion Seth Rollins for a good 10-15 minutes inside the Elimination Chamber as one of the last two participants. My number 12, coming back to GCW. My number 12 is actually staying in GCW. My number 12 is Samoa Joe.
Okay. He goes for the Samoa submission machine, Samoa Joe. Okay. Damn plans for him anyway. Now let's see here. If I had to go with another legend, in my opinion, I'll have to go. Let's see. If you could think of any of the weirdest matches that for my number 5 pick Brock Lesnar has had, who would it be? My number 13, Goldberg.
Okay, I didn't have too many plans for Goldberg back in GCW, so hopefully he can be put to use well in UCPW. But my number 13 is actually someone who came close again to beating Brock Lesnar as we're on the topic of Brock Lesnar. And my number 13 can be best described with the words, I'm not finished with you. I'm going with Braun Strowman for my number 13.
And he goes for the monster among men, Braun Strowman, who I believe came out a bit short when he faced Jake the Snake Roberts back at UCPW Judgment Day. So I'm wishing Braun the best of luck after that loss. Let's see here. For my number 14, I will probably have to go with another tag team in which I'd say that I know they probably won't be getting along and all that, but if I had to pick, I would probably have to say one of the weirdest teams ever, but at the same time, one of them has got kids and needs the job. So for my number 14, Heath Slater and Rhino.
Okay, so he goes for Heath Slater and Rhino for number 14. My number 14 for my number 14 is also going to be a tag team, as this tag team was successful back at Hell in a Cell, defeating the New Day for those tag team titles. My number 14 are the Usos.
Alright, he goes for Jimmy and Jay Uso. Now let's see here. See, for my number 15, I will probably have to pick. Let's see, if I had to pick a man with great taste in UCPW, I would say that he had great taste in the Hardcore Championship. For my number 15, staying with UCPW is the former Hardcore Champion, Aiden English.
Okay. As Aiden English stays in UCPW, my number 15 is a man who put on one of the best matches in GCW history, with my number 4 draft pick Finn Balor expected. But my number 15 is currently tag team champions with my current United States champion Seth Rollins. My number 15. In fact, I'm gonna draft his partner in the same spot. I'm drafting to complete the Shield, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns.
Alright. Oh, if I'm understanding correctly, it was Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns that are heading to GCW. Okay. For my number 16, if I had to pick a superstar, you would probably have to go with a giant. But I'll probably go with the second giant in real life, in which my number 16 will be the Big Show.
As for number 16 over there on the UCPW side, he goes with the Big Show. And my number 16 has definitely made a lot of people mad over the past few months of real life. As back at Backlash, he probably pulled up an upset to probably some of the best to all everybody, defeating UCPW's number 12 draft pick, Randy Orton. My number 16 is the modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal.
Alright, he goes for the real life current WWE champion, Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja. Okay, so if I had okay, for my number 17. You know what, you will probably need another man that also represents hardcore. So I am going for just this man, not any of the other faces. I am going with the man who started it back in the days. I'm going for Mankind.
And over there in UCW, Mankind will be continuing his run in UCPW. As my number 17 draft pick is doing pretty well right now, I think, in my opinion, in NXT. So my number 17 is UCPW's very own Roderick Strong.
He goes for Ronnie. Freaking Strong. Okay. Let's see here. If you had to go, let's see, for my number 18. I know, let's see here. I know that he might have fractured a few bones or trauma right now after his loss against Kevin Owens about a few weeks ago. Inside the mod structure itself, you know what, I have respect for the man. He took guts going to that brawl with Kevin Owens himself. I would probably have to go with Shane O'Mac himself, Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon will head over to UCPW. Shane McMahon will continue his run over in UCPW. But my number 18 is someone who I've been thinking about, who's someone I've been keeping my eye over. And he did have some success and he hasn't really been, and he's really been underlooked. As I'm going for a next gen superstar for my number 18, and I'm going for the current cruiserweight champion in Kalisto.
And he goes for John himself, Kalisto. Okay, I don't think I had any plans for him anyway. You know what, I'm gonna stay in the light heavyweight division, and you know what? Heck it, I'll go with the man that Kalisto took the Cruiserweight Championship from, is in which my number 19 is Enzo Amore. How you doing?
As he goes with the New Yorker himself, Enzo Amore for number 19. And for my number 19, I think I'm going to go with another tag team. I think that this tag team in real life as first has been really successful in real life. My number 19 will be Sheamus and Cesaro, known as the Bar, but over here we call them the Irish Swingers.
Okay, so he goes for the Irish Swingers themselves, Sheamus and Cesaro. You know what? I'm probably gonna stay in the tag team division for myself. As okay. I think I might have some success with this team. But I don't know if they're eligible or not. But if I had to pick a team with great skills in the ring, let's see here. I would probably have to go for a team that was in real life always ready, willing, and Gable. I'm going for Chad Gable, and in storyline relative in real life, Kurt Angle's son, Jason Jordan, American Alpha.
As we hear in GCW, wish former tag team champions American Alpha the best of luck over in their new home, GCW, as we just did a father-son reversal.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We just had to follow some reversal. Instead of me having the father and you having the son, I have the son, you have the father. What the heck?
What just happened?
Apparently you're not gonna have Team Angle 2.0.
Yeah, but I don't need you. I don't think I need Team Angle 2.0. Because staying in the relative tag team division, my number 20 are a very great team. Are a very great team in my opinion. As much as we hated them a couple of years ago, the fans cannot get enough of them now. So get your power of positivity ready, as my number 20 are the New Day.
And staying with GCW, it will be Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, which is the New Day. Okay. You know what? I might go with... Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with another team. In which I'm thinking that these guys might be suitable for UCPW, in which I believe, if you may recall, I believe that the club actually defeated them for the tag titles. In which I'm probably going for number 21, Nash and Hall, the Outsiders.
As we wish former GCW Tag Team Champions, the Outsiders, the best at their new home. And my number 21 I'm gonna go for a former champion in GCW. I'm gonna get out of the tag team rankings for a second. And my number 21. In fact, I'm actually gonna draft the whole family for my number 21, staying in the tag team division. My number 21 is the Wyatt family.
Okay, so he's taking Bray Wyatt. Staying with GCW, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan. I'll take it anyway. You know what? For my number 22, I'm probably gonna let him stay in UCW for another season, in which I'm probably gonna be bringing in the man who actually brought the light heavyweight championship and the light heavyweight division into UCPW. I'm going for the real life late great Eddie Guerrero.
May Eddie rest in peace. May Eddie rest in peace. He's well deserved it. My number
Yeah.
20. My number 22. I think for my number 22, I'm going to go with as it's narrowing down right now. I'm gonna go for another. I think I might go singles. I'm continuing the singles routes here, and I'm gonna go for my former world heavyweight champion in Ty Dillinger.
Okay. And he goes for the perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, his former world heavyweight champion. I don't think I had that much plans for Dillinger in UCPW anyway. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's starting to get narrow. Ooh, let's see here. You know what? For some of us, I meant to put Sawa in this. I'm putting them together, but I meant to put Sawa with them. I'm picking in real life Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil, actually former UCPW Hardcore champion Titus O'Neil, which AKA the Titus Worldwide.
Okay, I don't think I had very much plans for them, so good that they can be utilized somewhere else. As my number 23 is another tag team. And this was a great tag team in NXT as they picked up the NXT tag team titles. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do on the main roster one day. But for my 23, I'm going to go with Akam and Razor the authors of pain.
And he goes for the authors of pain. Okay. Let's see here. You know what? I'm thinking about splitting a tag team right now for my number 24. Because I'm thinking that one of these guys can do a great job in UCPW, or at least do good in UCPW, in which I would have to split up the Hype Bros and take Zack Ryder.
We here at GCW are going to wish Zack Ryder the best of luck at his new home in UCPW. So my number 24. Are definitely are definitely what I think are definitely stars in the making. As I'm gonna, I'm gonna continue with the team trend, and my number 24 are TM61.
And he goes for TM61. Nick Miller and Shane Thorne. Okay. Oof. If I had to... You know what? I gotta keep... You know what? I gotta keep the... You know what? Tyler felt a bit lonely, so you know what? I'm probably gonna bring his tag team partner in. So number 25 will be his partner in crime, Von Go.
Wonder what will be going on. We might see the Fashion Files in UCPW as Fandango now completes the team of Tyler Breeze and Fandango. As my number 20...
AKA Breezango.
Yeah, Breezango. My number 25 is a former GCW Internet Champion, winning the title back in the very first season. Didn't see much of him in the second season, mainly because he was over in UCPW. And then later on brought back to GCW in the shakeup. But now, he's going to have a definite home in GCW this season, as my number 25 is Hideo Itami.
He goes for Hideo Itami, okay. Okay, so if I had to... Let's see here. For my number 26... Let's see here. I'll probably have to go... The man that's probably gonna be pretty good in the UCPW roster, and probably a good man that'll probably be having a bright future ahead of him. I'm probably gonna pick Cassius Ohno.
Okay, it's Cassius Ohno brought over to UCPW as my number 26 is a wrestler who I really have huge expectations. Who I really think will do well. Who I really think is going to really be entertaining in NXT. I really think is entertaining in NXT is he always finds a way to get the crowd pumped by just 3 words. No way, Jose. As No Way Jose is my number 26.
Okay, No Way Jose is heading over to GCW. I don't think I had much plans with him anyway. And you know what? Since we're on the topic of NXT in real life, I'm probably gonna go with, you know what, for the first time in this draft, I'm probably gonna go with a call. A custom superstar slash custom team, in which I think they made their appearance back at the last takeover. I think these guys will be great in UCPW, in which I'm going with Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and staying in UCPW, Adam Cole, baby. I'm picking the Undisputed Era.
What a pick that was. Undisputed Era going over as Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly making their UCPW debuts. As I'm gonna go for my number 27. We are reaching the halfway point of this draft. And My number 27. I'm going to go for I'm going to go for the Cruiserweight division, and I'm going to go for the high-flying Gran Metalik.
Alright, he goes for Mr. Gran Metalik. Okay, that's a good slide. I mean, he would have been great in the light heavyweight division, but yeah, I'm good with that. Let's see here. If I have, let's see, for my number 28. I think sometimes I always wonder why he's still on the roster, but at the same time, he's having one of the greatest losing streaks in real life. I'm probably gonna have to go with a wild card in which Kurt Hawkins.
You just said that with such shame. Kurt Hawkins is going to be UCPW's number 28, and I'm surprised that my next draft pick has stayed on for this long. Nearly half the draft, probably not going to be pleased with this when he hears about it, but my number 28 is a former GCW Global Champion. Actually, he was the first GCW Global Champion. My number 28 is Dolph Ziggler.
He goes for Dolph Ziggler. Okay. I'm okay with that. See here. If I had, okay, for my number 29. You know what? I would probably, in real life, I would probably have to go with the former five-time WCW champion. I am gonna go with Booker T.
Alright, it's Booker T. Stay. As Booker T will stay over in UCPW. As Booker T will stay over in UCPW. My number 29 is someone. My number 29, as this continues narrowing down, making picks a lot less, is also going to be a cruiserweight. He's a former cruiserweight champion, and he's a former GCW Next Gen champion. The only 3-time GCW Next Gen champion. Was doing pretty well, but then at One Night Only Revelation fell short to Shawn Michaels, which is why my number 29 is the Heartbreak. No, it's not the Heartbreak Kid. My number 29 is the man that gravity forgot in Neville.
Alright, he goes for Neville. I would have made him if I drafted him, I would have made him the king of the light heavyweight division. The king of the light heavyweights. But it's glad to see that Neville is staying with GCW. I'm probably gonna go with another wild card. And now I have to go with another cruiserweight, aka a light heavyweight superstar, in which it will have to be wild card right here. Noam Dar.
I had a little bit of thought of Noam Dar, but I wasn't too convinced picking him up. But at least UCPW will probably have something more for him to do than I probably would have had. But since we're on the topic of light heavyweights, I think for my number 30, I'm gonna go for back when I had little guy over here, I'm gonna go with one of his favorite wrestlers. He always, whenever he plays WWE games, he always loves to play for some reason, and I'll probably never know why this is his favorite wrestler. But for my number 30, I'm going for Sin Cara.
And thanks to Nero the Man, he goes for Sin Cara. We might be seeing a possible Lucha Dragons reunion. We never know.
Possibly, maybe we could have a next gen tag position maybe down there. Just like DIY, maybe. Possible in the works.
Maybe. Okay. So let's see here. For my number 31, I don't think this man needs. I don't think. Well, I don't. You know what? I'm gonna go with the man that actually defeated Braun Strowman back at UCPW Judgment Day. I am gonna go with You Can Never Trust the Snake. So, Jake the Snake Roberts is staying with UCPW.
Okay, staying over there. Didn't have very much planned for Jake. So excited to see him where his assets will be able to be put to use. So for my number 31, I'm gonna go for a GCW original.
Okay.
And I consider him an original because he's been with us for season 1. He's been with the company for season 1. He did get drafted to UCPW in season 2, but he did come back later on due to a trade. My number 31 is Tyson Kidd.
Okay, he goes for Tyson Kidd. Okay, for my number 32. And plus, do you remember that you created a certain team that were part from Tyson Kidd? And also the Heart Foundation? Remember that?
I think. Oh,
I might be. I'm breaking up. Yep, I'm breaking up one of the members of the team, in which I'm thinking this man needs no introduction, in which he will be the best there is, the best there was, and the best that ever will be, making his new home in UCPW. I'm taking the leader, one of the leaders of the Heart Foundation, Bret Hitman Hart.
He actually never was able to ever team with the Hart Foundation, unfortunately, as they were on different brands, as Bret Hart was on Thunder and Neidhart and Bulldog were on Warfare. But we here wish former Next Gen champion Bret Hart the best of luck in his new home known as UCPW. For my number 32 is definitely going to be, definitely will have some stuff to sort of use here in GCW. And this is a guy who I feel is really underestimated and is really overlooked, in my opinion. Which is why I'm going to try to give him an opportunity to showcase what he can actually do in the ring. I think actually I'm going to draft him and someone else together, as they are together in real life, assisting the current Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. I'm going for Curtis Axel, and I'm going for Bo Dallas.
So in other words, you are going for the Miztourage.
The Miztourage, the Outcast, whatever. I'm going for those two.
Okay, so he goes with both Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Okay, let's see here. You know what? I'm probably going to keep, for my number 33, I'm probably going to keep these two besties as one team, in which we didn't get to see them much in season 2 of UCPW, or at least season 1 for my opinion. I'm probably going to go with, you know what, before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, for the benefit of those with flash photography, I'm going to give you a 5-second photo shoot of the dynamic duo of Edge and Christian.
One of the best duos of all time, Edge and Christian, going in UCPW. Which is okay, because my number 33 was one half of one of the best teams to ever exist in GCW. In fact, they are the only team in GCW history to capture both the regular tag and the World Tag Team titles. But unfortunately, the season tag titles will not carry along. It will just be the World Tag titles across both brands. So for my number 33, because he will not have his tag team partner along with him, he will try his luck as a solo superstar. My number 33 is the living legend himself, Larry Sabisco.
And Larry Sabisco is staying with GCW, in which he will no longer be having his tag team partner Arn Anderson, in which he has gone to better things. So GCW will probably want to wish the best of luck for Arn Anderson.
Yes, we wish best of luck for Arn Anderson.
Wherever he is in the universe mode. For my number 34, I would probably go with a man that as we seen, I believe seen before in partially in season 2, but until he was out with an injury, you know what, making his return and coming back to UCPW, I choose Lex Luger.
Lex Luger will be going back to UCPW for another season. Well, he will be going back to UCPW. I believe Lex Luger is a former UCPW Hardcore Champion. If I'm correct, he is a former UCPW Hardcore Champion.
Yeah.
So for my number 34, I'm gonna go for someone who is also a former GCW champion, who lasted a little bit longer in the draft than expected to, and I'm gonna go for Rusev for number 34.
Okay, so he is going for the Bulgarian Rusev. It's okay, I don't think I had any plans for him in UCPW anyway. And you know what? Now I kind of feel guilty that I drafted Bret the Hitman Hart because now I'm thinking about bringing in the former, I believe, wasn't he the first man to capture UCPW and GCW gold, in which
Yep, yes he
was
was.
the name of the former UCPW hardcore champion, Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Okay. As Jim the Anvil Neidhart will be moving on
He'll
to
be coming back to UCPW.
yeah, as he'll be moving on back to GCW, as he was the first man to capture both East and GCW gold. The second man to do that is the current GCW Next Gen champion in Shawn Michaels. So for my number 35, I'm gonna go for someone who actually just got out of the hospital not too long ago. And he even has a shirt saying, "I'm not dead yet." And my number 35 is the man who put on a phenomenal contest with the current internet champion AJ Styles on the premiere episode of GCW Warfare for season number 2. And I'm going with the Nature Boy, Rick.
For my number 36 draft pick. I don't know how I could forget about this man. For my number 36 pick, I am going with, I'd say, he had a few names back in the days, but at the same time, I don't think we saw much in GCW. I don't know if we did or not. I'm going with the Jabroni eating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, people's champion, The Rock.
As he wasn't in my initial plans for this next season, so it's not too much of a big loss in my opinion. It is a big loss name-wise, but some stuff just gotta happen. But that's why I'm gonna go for my number 36, a man who has beaten The Rock on a couple occasions, especially at WrestleMania. I'm going with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And in which here in UCPW we will want to wish the best in Stone Cold Steve Austin, as he has been a man who started out back at season 1. I think we barely saw much of him in season 2, but at the same time we want to wish Steve Austin the best of luck. Let's see here, for my number 37, I would go with, let's see here, I would go with a man who, we first saw him back at UCPW Ladder Massacre, and after that, I believe he might have been drafted or traded since then. I would have to go with the man known as Sting.
Yes. As Sting is one of those few kind of wrestlers who's been struggling to kind of find some bound of success in both GCW and UCPW. So So we wish Sting the best of luck in UCPW, and hopefully he will have some form of success. But for my number 37, I'm going to go with a big name. One of the best wrestlers of all time, in my opinion. As he put on a great match with a wrestler soon to be later on drafted by either one of us. My number 37 is Randy Savage.
In which we here in UCPW will want to wish Randy Savage the best of luck. Starting out back at Season 1, Season 2. Now he's going on to Season 3 in GCW. Well, I wish him the best of luck. Okay, so let's see here. For my number 38, I'll probably go with... You know what? Since earlier I drafted my number 18 pick, Shane McMahon, you know what? I gotta keep the family heritage going. For my number 38, I'm going for his father, Vince Kennedy McMahon, aka Mr. McMahon.
As family sticks together, continue to stay together in UCPW. As my number 38 actually won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal early this year. My number 38 will be Mojo Rawley.
So it is confirmed that the Hype Bros will be officially splitting up, as I'm taking Zack Ryder and you're taking Mojo Rawley.
Who knows, maybe someday they will intertwine once again, maybe even this season, we don't know yet.
Maybe. Okay, for my number 39. You know what? I'm gonna go with another created tag team, which we saw him lay in UCPW Judgment Day, which, since my pre-show is taken down, mainly for copyright reasons, I will go with a group known as the Club of Bullets, aka the Bullet Club. Cody, Moist Girl, and the Bucks of Youth.
Okay.
Or the Elite, or whatever the heck you want to call them.
That's a great pick right there. 39. My number 39. I think that I'm going to go for my number 39. I'm gonna go for a tag team as well. They're obviously not as good as the Elite, but over time in GCW they will become huge players, I believe. Which is why I'm gonna go for the team that probably everyone does not like and that no one really cares about. And we haven't seen them ever since the Superstar Shakeup in real life. I'm gonna go for the Cologne, Primo and Epica.
I had plans for them in UCPW, but I'll take it anyway. Okay, so let's see here. My number 40. Ooh. Okay. I had pick. He had an absolutely glorious first pick and Bobby Roode in UCPW. How about we will have an absolutely perfect pick. Number 40, Mr. Perfect.
As we here in GCW like to wish Mr. Perfect the best of luck in his new home. As my number 41, 40. My number 40 pick, I botched that up, my number 40 pick will be another tag team known as the Golden Truth.
And he is gonna be taken the Golden Truth, our truth, and go just. Okay, for my number 41. Okay, for my number 41, I'll probably go with the man that was so lately, that had a late timely death, and one of the real life originators in that state. I would go with the father of both Goldust and Cody. I'm picking Dusty Rhodes.
Dustin, he goes for the one and only Dusty Rhodes, the late great Dusty Rhodes. At number 40, may Dusty Rhodes rest in peace. Much deserved.
May that son of a plumber rest in peace.
As for my number 40, I'm going to go on a more current approach, and I'm going to draft the man who recently just got inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. I'm drafting the one and only DDP.
Bang. Looks like GCW will be now feeling the bang. And you know what, for my number 42, I'm probably gonna go with another man who was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. In which they usually, people back then, they hated him, but at the same time, he was simply ravishing. I'm going for the ravishing Rick Rude.
Yes, Rick Rude is number 42 for UCPW. As I'm gonna go for one of UCW's favorites, and one of his former buddies in the Nation of Domination, The Rock, is in UCPW, but the man who says pimpin' ain't easy is coming to GCW, as number 42 is The Godfather.
Alright, the Godfather is gonna be heading to GCW. We wish him the best of luck here in UCPW. And you know what? Since we're keeping a Nation of Domination, I'm gonna go with another guy who Godfather might be going to GCW, but The Rock will have somebody else. He might be having somebody else with him in the Nation of Domination, if there is a reuniting Nation of Domination, which that is Mark Henry for my number 43.
Mark Henry heads over to UCPW. The next draft pick will be former will be a former GCW Worldwide Champion, defeating AJ Styles back at TLC back at TLC 2. I am going with the one and only Vader.
He's going with the big man Vader. Okay, for number 44. I believe this man was either a former Next Gen champion or a former Internet champion. I'm probably going to go with the late great Ultimate Warrior.
He was a former internet champion, that is correct, and we wish him the best of luck at his new home, known as the UCPW.
And now his spirit will run forever in UCPW.
And now my number 44 is definitely what some people probably don't even know who he is or what he probably did. But my number 44 will definitely make a name for himself, as he has a pretty high overall in this game, in my opinion. I'm going with Tatsumi Fujinami.
Alright, he's going for Tatsumi Fujinami. And then I didn't have any plans for him. But okay. And let's see here. For my number 45, I have to go with a man who started a bit late, around, I believe, around Ladder Massacre or at Jokes Wild 2 or during a UCPW SmackDown episode. I'm probably gonna go with Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid, number 45. For UCW, but number 45 for GCW. Actually, he works for the company as a trainer now, as he's one of the most popular guys in the company right now to work with, and that is number 45, Albert.
Albert is heading to GCW. I'm being plans with him. It's okay. You know what? I remember back at Jokes Wild 2 that I had Godfather pair up with this certain person to take on, I believe, the Revival, and he will now be staying with UCPW, which my number 46 is Bam Bam Bigelow.
Former GCW Next-Gen champion Bam Bam Bigelow. And this is probably going to be a shocker to some people, but we left this guy on the roster for this long. And he's going to be picked up to GCW. For my number 46, I'm going with Big Cass.
Okay, he's going for Big Cass. Okay. Let's see here. For my number 47. And you know what? I'm probably going. I can't believe I let this guy, get the way. I'm gonna go with the captain who Titus O'Neil was a part of at the first ever UCPW World Cup. I'm going for the team leader, the namer of dummies, Eli Drake.
Yes, Eli too. Going over. My next draft pick is someone we don't see too much of, or someone that we haven't seen too much of, especially because he got an injury on main event, which kind of sucks. But I really believe that one day he might become a feature something. So I'm gonna go for my next draft pick. I'm going for Darren Young.
And that means that he's probably gonna make himself and GCW great again. For my number 48, I had to pick another person. Let's see here. You know what? We only saw him like about a couple times in season 2. You know, I'm going for a random pick right here. I'm going for, I'd say, I think he started out in a bit late in UCPW, but I remember we saw him in the ladder match at Judgment Day. I'm going for Andrew Everett.
Andrew Everett. My next draft pick will be a guy who never really did much in GCW, but we're gonna keep him here just for the name value, just for his name value, as he does bring a lot name-wise, in my opinion. I'm gonna go for the Bully in JBL.
And he goes for the bully himself, John Bradshaw Layfield. Okay. Okay, for number 49. Probably gonna go for, yeah, let me double check right here. Yep, I think I'm gonna go for, yep, I'm gonna go for one more tag team, in which we didn't see them much in UCPW, but you know what, I'm thinking that they might make an impact here in season 3. You know, staying in UCPW is both Butch and Luke, aka the Bushwhackers.
That's Bushwhacker staying. My next draft pick. I'm not even trying to really give an introduction for this. I'm just going to draft. Just because he's up here, I'm just gonna draft Rick Martel.
Okay. Okay. Wait, did you say who it was, or
What?
did you say on who it was, or?
Oh, I said Rick Martel.
Oh, okay.
This is up here.
Okay. In that case, for my number 50, I would probably... This is a bit tough one right here. But if I had to pick one, I would probably go for... Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna go for one of the originators of the Fabulous Freebirds. I'm probably gonna go for Michael P.S. Hayes.
Alright. Michael Hayes heads over to UCPW. Next draft pick for GCW is the dad of my number 14 draft pick in the Usos. I'm going for a man who stayed on for this long in Rikishi.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
I can't believe he stayed on for this long.
I know, what is wrong with us?
What did we just do?
Rikishi, if you're watching this, we apologize.
Yes, we apologize, Rikishi.
Okay, for my 51 draft pick. You know what, I might try and make this guy a star, and you know what, I'm gonna try and see what he could do here in UCPW. So you know what, I'm thinking making his debut in UCPW. I'm probably gonna bring in Rick the Model Martel.
I just drafted Rick Martel.
I'm JKN. JKN.
What the heck?
I'm
Oh.
JKN. I'm going for a call, and his name is Raven.
Okay, Raven. Actually, now that was actually a pretty cool pick. Raven. Okay. And my number 51, who actually stayed on for longer than expected. Again, I'm going with Ricky Steamboat.
And same thing what we said to Ricky. Ricky, if you're watching this, we apologize.
Yes, we apologize, Ricky Steamboat. Don't murder either of us.
Yeah, please don't.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if he'll have any use here in USPW, but we'll probably see what he does here. You know what? For number 52, I'll go for Tatanka.
Well, we'll see what he can bring. As up next, my next draft pick. Yes, I really don't care what number we're on, because we are basically killing this.
53.
We're
We're on
basically
52.
we're on 52,
Yes.
and this roster has been like torn up to shreds.
It's one cluster.
Yeah, it is one clusterfuck of a roster, which is why I think that for our next draft pick, I don't know what he's gonna do, but I know nothing about this guy, but I'm gonna take a risk. I'm going a wild card here, and I'm gonna go for Jimmy Garwin. Garvin for number
Uh,
52.
good old Jimmy Chan Garvin. Going to GCW. You know what? I'm gonna take another risk right here. I don't know how much good he'll be for UCPW, but you know, F it. Move forward 53, I'm going for Buddy Roberts.
Okay. And this is going to be another guy that we left on here for so long, who did not need to be left on here for so long. For number 53. For number 53, I'm going to go with one half of the former GCW Tag Team Champions. I'm drafting the British Bulldog.
I know he's dead, but we apologize.
Yes, we apologize. Don't strike us with your grave.
Yeah, please don't.
Please don't let lightning strike. We apologize for the late draft.
Please don't haunt my dreams.
Yes.
Please don't haunt my dreams.
Please don't haunt mine either.
Oh, I can't believe I left. I don't know how good this man's gonna do, but I can't believe he was left in this whole time. This is just a random wild card. I'm going for Earthquake.
Might as well take Typhoon as well.
Yeah, so I'll just take the natural disasters.
Yeah, take the natural disasters.
Natural disasters, please don't haunt my dreams, please. I apologize.
Yes, and number 54 is another person who's also left on here for a little bit. My number 54 is Brutus Beefcake.
Ah, the barber. Good old Brutus the barber. Beefcake. In which, you know what? I'm gonna end this draft with not with a random person, but it's actually one more last call. In which I don't know good this one would be, but I'm thinking he'll probably be good in the hardcore division. I'm picking last but certainly not least. I would like to call him one of the greatest hardcore icons ever, in which he was and still is the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, death-defying maniac, Sabu.
Okay. As Christian ends the draft with a custom guy, and I'm gonna do the same. Surprisingly. And my number 55 is actually someone who just returned to WWE not too long ago. My number 55 is Shelton Benjamin.
Okay. Now that's all the males right here. Now all we have to do is pick our 6 women. Which I guess since I still got the coin toss, I guess I'll go first.
And remember that not her. That Asuka and Naomi cannot be drafted, as those are our champions for our women's divisions.
Yep. And you know what? For my first woman in the UCPW roster, I am going to pick the former UCPW women's champion that Naomi got the title from, and that is Nia Jax.
I figured that was coming, that Nia Jax. is going to be staying with UCPW as he got the first pick of the coin. As he got the flip of the coin. But my number 1 draft pick is a former GCW Women's Champion. And who I feel is really going to be a nice person to have on the roster for another season. So my number 1 is Little Miss Bliss herself, Alexa Bliss.
Okay. For my number 2, for the women's division, you know, I think I've, I bit shortened up on her when she first real life made her debut in WWE, but now I think I grow fond of her, and I'm actually liking her. So for my number 2, people call her a last kicker. So I'm picking Becky Lynch.
We here wish the longest reigning GCW Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, the best of luck at UCPW. But my number two, because I have her dad on here, I feel the urge to draft her here, as she has made it a goal of hers now to capture the GCW Women's Championship once again. But will she be able to do it in Season 3? We'll be coming back to GCW.
And that's Charlie. She is going to stay with GCW. Okay, for my for my third women in UCPW, you know what? I'm gonna go with I don't know if they would count as a team, but I'm gonna go for the dynamic duo of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce.
And while we are on the topic of NXT, my number 4 draft pick has put on some of the best matches ever with my women's champion. And this was actually the first woman that me and Chrissy, started arguing over if she was going to be GCW or UCW this season. And
I'm okay with her being in GCW.
And my number 5 is Ember Moon. My number 3 is Ember Moon.
He goes for Ember Moon. And you know what? Just because I want to be, I don't know, would this one count? I don't know. Since you have Miz and the Miztourage, would I call Maurice?
He's playable, so...
Because if so, for my number 4, I pick Maurice.
He's a playable character, so go for it.
Yeah, so, yep, number 4, I pick Maurice.
He's playable, so yeah. My number 4... My number 4 is a wrestler that really does... who can legit make... who's a legit boss. I'm going with Sasha Banks for my number 3.
And he's going for the boss herself. And when it comes to GCW, it's always boss time with Sasha Banks, okay? And you know what? Might as well pick a former UCPW Women's Champion, which staying with UCPW, I'm gonna pick Dana Brooke.
As Dana Brooke will be staying with UCPW, hopefully she might capture that women's title again. Who knows? My number 5. Didn't really see much of ever since the shake-up. And I think that she really wants to go back out there and actually capture the GCW Women's Championship. My number 5 is the one and only Bayley.
And Bayley is staying with GCW. And you know what? I'm probably gonna be picking finally I'm gonna pick you know what? Since this is happening soon, I'm probably gonna be picking both Nikki and Brie Bella.
As he drafts the Bella Twins to end his draft. And to end my draft, and because I have on my roster, I have her husband. I am going to bring in the one and only. She calls herself Wrestling Royalty, Natalia.
Okay. And it looks like that will conclude both our drafts.
Yes, it will.
Plus, since also when I drafted Sandy, I guess Nikki Cross will be added to the women's division too.
Yes, Nikki Cross. You did mention Nikki Cross earlier on, so Nikki Cross will be a part of UCPW.
Okay.
And that will be all from the GCW side of the UCPW GCW draft.
Yep, and this will be all from the UCPW side, from the GCW and UCPW draft.
Yep. So for over here for GCW, this is for Christian Tracy. This is Near the Night, saying thanks for watching and peace out.